Hey, kia ora, Helen, Brahms here, coming live from Menifee in California. Hope you've all had a super fantastic sparkling day. Hope you all took some time today to remember what happened 19 years ago today, and just to spend a moment in silence for those that unfortunately lost their lives due to the terrorist attacks. But I've had a very interesting day. So apart from doing my moment of silence this morning and with you and talking about where I was on 9/11 that day, I attended a workshop that was about color and logos, and it was they talked about what colors to use as your logos and why, and then also the emotional attachment that we have to color. And I thought, well, this is going to be interesting, and it was very interesting and very enlightening. So I've got a whole bunch of notes. I'm going to try and give it to you in about this much. Instead of this much, I'm going to try this much, but we'll see how we go. So things like red, they say it's all about excitement, leadership, energy, love, desire, passion, determination. It is also, the fun fact on that was that it's the number one color found in most flags. I thought that was interesting. It also is used when you're in stores and stuff, and any sale sign, most of the sale signs that you see when stuff is on sale in stores, what color is this tag? It's red, action. But they say for our bodies, it actually enhances our metabolism, and it got me thinking. I thought, a lot of Chinese restaurants use a lot of red, and then if you think like McDonald's, red. So if you think of a lot of the fast food companies that use red, it's because it enhances your metabolism. And I was like, wow. It also raises your blood pressure, boosts your appetite, and increases your respiration rate. So you got to be careful of that red color. But if you think of some of the fast food places that use red, how many times do you go to a fast food place and you tend to overbuy a little bit? Maybe there's a reason behind it. And the next color we talked about was orange, and I kind of like orange. Orange to me is an exciting color, and they say it's a sign of caution, because if you think of what was the example she used? Road workers with all of their safety equipment, it's all orange that you see, the neon orange and stuff. But it's good for orange is a color that helps you rejuvenate and restore balance within your body. I thought, that's really cool. And a lot of times you'll see it in call to actions as well. Then we talked about yellow. Yellow is just a sunshine color. It's just pure sunshine. I love yellow. There are some yellows I can wear and some yellows I can't wear. If it's a blue-based yellow, I can get away with it. I have a cool skin tone. But it's sunshine, happy, vibrant, and it, again, like orange, it restores balance and it rejuvenates. But when you think of when I think of yellow, I think it stimulates the brain and the nervous system, because if you think of lemons and you get that whiff of lemon, what does it do to you? It gives you that, it's sort of like that type of smell where you just feel it's got that cleanness about it, and it symbolizes optimism and confidence as well. So I love yellow. Yellow's great. The next color we talked about was pink, and I thought, well, this will be interesting, because pink is a very calming, has a very calming effect on the body. And I suddenly thought about years ago when I learned about some of the psychiatric wards and stuff, or even some police stations. They actually have pink cells or pink rooms that they put people into to help them calm down, and they put them in for like 20 to 30 minutes, and they've calmed down. So if they've got like in some police stations, they may have a pink cell in there, and they put somebody in who's been very difficult to manage, who was very violent at the time, and 20 to 30 minutes in that room, and it just calms them down. So I learned that one about pink and being the calmness on our nervous system years ago, and I thought, that quite often thinking of that as a very calming color. But they also said that for our mouth, it represents sweetness and is very often used by the candy industry. I thought, yeah, that's kind of true. If you think of some of the brands that are out there that deal with candy or sugar and how pink they are, And then they talked about purple, and I did not realize, but they say it's the rarest and least seen of all colors, especially in nature. And I thought, well, I have lavender, fuchsia, is it fuchsia? They have the red with the purple on, that red and purple flower. And so I was trying to think of all the things in nature. I thought, yeah, you see a lot of greens, a lot of yellows, a lot of browns, reds. So you really don't see a lot of purple. My wedding roses that when Brad and I got married were purple. I was absolutely delighted to find those. That just made my day, because purple is my favorite color. And then they mentioned that in the 1800s, it was only royalty could wear purple because of the rarity of the color. And then I think of stones like amethyst, which I absolutely love amethysts. Sapphire is number 1, amethyst is number 2. Don't ask me what it is about sapphire. Sapphire is actually the birthstone for September, and yet it's always been one of my favorite gemstones. And amethyst, I think if I remember correctly, amethyst is February. Yet September is a very turmoil month for me, with people who have passed in September, along with those that we're celebrating birthdays for. So it's one of those roller coaster months, yet they have the stone, they have the sapphire there, which is that beautiful blue sapphire, and sapphire has always been my favorite stone, yet it represents September, and September's my most turmoil month when it comes to emotional roller coasters. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But purple, which is my absolute favorite color, the stone is, I think of amethysts. I think of amethyst crystals, and I do associate with royalty with those beautiful purple robes that you tend to put on, that you tend to associate with royal family when they have those robes with the fur linings and all of that sort of stuff. They've got those deep purple robes, and but purple represents creativity and imagination. So I kind of like that for that too. And of course, lavender is one of my favorite scents. I use it a lot. It helps control my allergies when I mix it with lemon and peppermint. I put it on the bottom of my feet. It helps me sleep well at night. It just has lots of good, it's just a very soothing aroma. Next we talked about green. Oh, green, fresh, vibrant, just that healthy. Think of it. What else was there about green? Of course, money, ambition, wealth, finances, all those sorts of things. But it represents the environment as well, because green, go green, and all of that sort of stuff. Or fresh air. I always think of green as fresh air. When somebody says, "I'll go outside and get some fresh air," all I can think of is just going into a forest with trees and just going. So it's also green is for go, so new beginnings, safety, springtime, when the brown grasses from the winter turn green again. I think of that too. And they had a fun fact about the reason that they use green screens instead of other colored screens is because it doesn't match any skin tones or hair colors. And if they said if it's green, if the person has to wear green clothing, they actually use a blue screen, which I thought, well, that's kind of interesting to know, because you never pick up on any of that thing. But I never thought about what happens if you've got somebody who's wearing green against a green screen. They kind of then disappear. So what do they do with that? They put them against a blue screen. I'm like, cool to know. Speaking of cool, next color was blue. And you think of that ocean sky, and I love fresh air with the sky, like looking at skies at night, especially if I'm out in the middle of nowhere where there's no lights and you can just look up and see the stars above you. I love the oceans. I don't like beaches unless I'm walking on wet sand, but I've got to get through that loose stuff to get to the wet sand. But I love the smell of the ocean. It's one of my favorite scents is the smell of the ocean and stuff. But they said that blue is the one that has more shades than any other color, and different shades can represent different things. Like light blue was creativity, dark blue was security and trust, and sky blue was serenity, calm, and peace. And I thought, that's kind of cool. And you see it a lot in banks and social media and that sort of thing too. Then we talked about brown. Well, to me, brown is just chocolate. Chocoholic. and when I think of and also trees as well, I think of associate brown with trees and the earth, which is good for grounding. So it gives you that stability. What else was it? Where did I put the brown thing? Stability. So because we're thinking of the trees planting their roots into the ground, and the earth is brown and all of that. But to me, it's brown as chocolate and tree trunks. I love hugging trees. Yes, I am a tree hugger. But I also love chocolate as well. And to me, chocolate is just sort of like, it just takes you to that place where it kind of grounds you a little bit. So I like my chocolate especially when I'm wired and I just need something. And so I'll quite often have just a little piece of chocolate, and it's just enough to ground me. So it's got that, grounding. That's the only thing I can think of. What else did we have there? We had endurance, protective, dependability. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I learned a lot about color today. Then we had black, white, and silver, which is all associated with luxury. Used by elite luxury. You got those luxury brands that use the black, white, and silver because that's what they represent. So it was a very interesting webinar today that Lee Levy did, and totally appreciated the time that she took to do that. Especially when you're talking about logos that companies use, and but my question for her was, okay, this is how colors affect the normal person, especially with their mind, with their emotions, what emotions the colors trigger. But what happens if you get somebody who's colorblind, because they don't see colors the same way a person who is not colorblind sees colors? So how does the color then impact the emotions for somebody who's colorblind? Now, Lee said she didn't know the answer to that question, but she said it's a great question. She was actually going to go and research it. So it'll be interesting to see what she comes back with on that. So that was kind of like the highlight of my day. The other stuff is just getting marketing stuff done, working on the color therapy thing as well, doing some designs today, using what I had learned today in that color, during that color workshop, using some of the suggestions there for when I'm creating a design for a card, what emotion do I want to invoke, and which is the best color to use for that? And can I find a stock photo that incorporates those colors to get that message across? Is it a message of caring? Do I need somebody to take action? Do I want it to be noticed? All of these things are all related to color. So when you see all the logos, out there, and the different brands and stuff, and you see sale signs and that, and you see the advertisements coming through, what is that main color that's in the background, and what emotion are they trying to evoke from you regarding that brand? So I thought that's kind of interesting when you think about it that way, and how color has such an impact on us. And I don't know what it was today, but this is actually a navy blue, dark blue shirt. It's not black, it's dark blue, but I just picked it out and thought, I'm going to wear that color today. And it's that security, that trust color. The dark blue is that security and trust color. So I thought that was kind of cool, but it's not quite black for morning, but I thought it was a good color for remembering. So what is your favorite color? So if you can put in the comments below what your favorite color is, I'd just like to see what the power of the rainbow has. I know I have a friend whose daughter, who is, I think she's like 8 or 9, and her favorite color is rainbows and unicorns. I love that. I love unicorns. They sparkle. I mean, come on, they sparkle. But I love that. They were talking about on there, these girls have their own jewelry show that they do every Sunday night to sell jewelry, and it's like $5 a piece. And so one day they were talking about their favorite color, and the little 8-year-old, she pipes up and says, my favorite color is rainbows and unicorns. And she absolutely loved Zeffie's collar, because if you ever get a close-up of Zeffie's collar, it's rainbows and unicorns. So she absolutely loved Zeffie's collar when she first saw Zeffie with her rainbows and unicorn collar on. But yeah, that was her favorite color, rainbows and unicorns. And I thought, I can relate to that because I like all colors, but purple is actually number 1 on my list. Everything else is a close second or third. So anyway, that's it from me for today. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening. We will catch you tomorrow for Shake It Up Saturday. Hekonera.